JDs and gentlemen, welcome. Have a seat. We're gathered here today to remember a car, but not just any car, a sedan. And not just any sedan, but a 2011 Honda Civic LX. It wasn't the best car, it wasn't the worst car. Some would argue it was an okay car when it wasn't broken down. Regardless of what is actually true and what isn't true, I'm here to tell you that this car will be remembered in our hearts always. You left us with 4 functioning cylinders, great compression, a smooth ride, and we hope that you pass it on to the next owner, and its next owner, and the owner after that, and presumably the owner after that. Who am I kidding? That car sucks! R.I.P. Now, Aubrey and I had different plans for this video. We had planned to show us prepping our 2011 Honda Civic for sale. We wanted to get footage of us cleaning it, taking photos, removing the tracker, scraping off any personal information off the vehicle, but it all happened so fast. We ended up listing and selling the vehicle in less than 24 hours from when I initially posted it on Facebook Marketplace, and it was purchased by the first person that came to see it. So because we weren't able to make the video we initially wanted to make, in this video we're going to be breaking down why we ended up selling the Honda, how much money we made or lost, and how we were able to accomplish these figures. So to start off, we purchased this vehicle about a year and a half ago, and ultimately we wanted to sell this vehicle because it just kept having too many mechanical issues with it. Now, the first issue started about a year ago when one of our repeat renters took the Honda Civic, and when she parked it, the next morning she came out to start it and the car would not respond whatsoever. So Michael and I went out, assuming it was a dead battery. We brought our code scanner, and unfortunately the car would not respond to any of the code readers and would not respond to any of the jump boxes. The car was just brain dead. After that, we had it towed over to Firestone, where we had an ASC master mechanic take a look at it. They offered to do some free diag on it, and after 9 hours of diag, they still couldn't find an issue, and ultimately we had to bring it to one of my best friends who happens to be a mobile mechanic, and he figured out the issue. He ended up determining that it was the PCM that was dead. It had an internal fault and it needed to be replaced. So we threw in a junkyard PCM, and lo and behold, that fixed our issue and the car was back on the road for a couple of months. After that, the car started developing a really random and weird issue. We had a guest let us know that the car randomly stopped and fell flat on its face and wouldn't accelerate, but then after turning the car off and turning the car on, it didn't have any more issues. So we decided to try to hook up a code scanner, take a look at any codes, and we couldn't find anything. The car seemed perfectly normal. So Aubrey and I decided to keep the car, do some test driving on it, and see if it would replicate the problem, and we couldn't. So we put it back out on Turo, and after a few weeks, it developed the same issue, but this time it was permanent. The throttle body was no longer responding with the computer, so the car went into lit mode, and anytime you press the accelerator, you couldn't get past 30 miles an hour, and it wouldn't do it fast. So when I got to it, I took the vehicle, I started diagnosing all the issues of what it could be, and it had nothing but throttle body related issues. So after me replacing a few fuses, swapping around a few relays, nothing would work. So we took it back to my mobile mechanic friend, and he was able to fix the vehicle, but we really weren't certain exactly what the issue was or how he really fixed it. He unplugged a few things, he moved some stuff around, he checked all the throttle body harnesses, he cleaned everything the best he could, and when he put it back together, lo and behold, it's fixed. And that lasted about a couple months until the same exact issue came back again. So we figured at this point, if it's having a throttle body issue, let's replace the throttle body, let's replace the relays, and lastly, let's replace the accelerator pedal. And every time we did that, nothing worked. It still kept having the same issue. So finally, we decided, let's take it to Honda. They recommended a new PCM. We paid $1,700 and it was fixed for a few weeks. And then it broke with the same throttle body issue. Fortunately, Honda had the warranty on this PCM. They took it in, they replaced the PCM free of charge, and they also determined that one of the main harness connectors on the PCM was vibrating loose, causing this intermittent issue, frying out the PCM, so they tightened it down and all was well. A couple of days after us getting the car back from Honda, we decided to clean it up and list it for sale. And it was sold in less than 48 hours start to finish. So we initially bought this car for $5,700. 1.5 years later, with about 28,000 additional miles, we sold it for the grand total of $5,500. Now, because we're almost at a complete break even from the sales price of the vehicle and what we purchased it for, how much revenue the car made, how much expenses this car cost us, and how much revenue total we made over the course of it being on Turo. All in all, when all the numbers are taken into account, we made about $6,000 on this vehicle. Was it worth it for all the sleepless nights, the not knowing if this car is going to break down again or if it's never going to have an issue again? It's that Honda reliability. Absolutely not. But I'm happy this car was not in the red and that we actually made money off this vehicle regardless. This is the topic that we've been battling on our TikTok, where a lot of people want to say that we're losing a lot of money out on depreciation, but it's simply not the case in point. This is a depreciation graph, and as it shows, the newer you buy a vehicle, the heavier it depreciates. So if you buy a car that's 1 or 2 years old, you're about to lose anywhere from 40 to 50% of that car's value due to depreciation. And of course, this is dependent on what type of car it is, how much you purchased the vehicle for, how much miles you put on the vehicle, and the condition. But no matter how you slice it, you're gonna lose money. Which is why instead of buying cars up here, we buy them down here. And because we buy vehicles at below market value, it's another added safety net. And this isn't a one-off thing. This is why when we buy our cars below market value and heavily depreciated, you almost never lose. So that's what happened to our Honda Civic. As always, guys, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And we'll see you in the next episode. He's just a Honda hating boy. He doesn't like Hondas, he's a Toyota pup.